under his feet. That whose feet? His feet is Jesus' feet. And he gave him, that's Jesus, as head over all things to the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills all in all. All right? Colossians chapter 1, verse 18. He is also the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he himself will come to have first place in everything. And so the question then becomes, Keisha, what gives Jesus the right of ownership of the church? It's very simple. He died. That's it. He reconciled us to the Father. He paid the price. He shed his blood. He died so that you and I might be presented to God as holy and blameless and beyond reproach. Can I take you to another passage? Look at 2 Corinthians chapter 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 2. And here's a metaphor. Here's another metaphor that the apostle uses. And he uses this metaphor of a Jewish wedding. And in a Jewish wedding, you had the bride, you had the bridegroom, and you had the friend of the bride. All right? And so Paul uses this analogy, this relationship between Christ is the bridegroom. The church is the bride of Christ. And he says to himself, I am the friend of the bride. And so the bride's friend was responsible for making sure that after the engagement, that the bride, when she got married, she was a pure virgin. Huh? Okay, I know we don't use that kind of language nowadays, because of the way people talk about sex today. But she was a pure virgin. So that, in other words, the friend of the bride was responsible for making sure that the bride was faithful to the groom before the wedding. My job as a pastor is to make sure that you are faithful to what God has called you to do and to be. And therefore, I am to present you as pure and chaste before the throne of God when you stand before God. I'm doing the best I can. Y'all better help me. I'm doing this at all I know how. I'm running at 110 right now. That's my job as a pastor. It's not to lord it over you, but it is to make sure that you're growing in your faith. And so if I'm bugging you and badgering you, let me take that word back. If I'm bugging you and hounding you about being in Bible study and doing ministry and being involved in missions and becoming a good steward, it's because I am making sure that you are faithful to who you are called to be. It's my responsibility. And I have leaders who help me with that. And so it is to teach and to preach, to exhort, to admonish, to correct from time to time, so that when you stand before Christ, you'll receive that crown of righteousness, which God, the righteous judge, has laid up for us. So when we think about the church, so sometimes when you say, people ask you whose church you go to, don't tell them I go to Jeffrey Gunt Church. It ain't mine. It was here when I got here. It'll be here when I'm gone. All right? Now,